Gentleman is recognized for a colloquy.
I thank the gentleman for yielding, and I rise today in strong support of the community of Hinesville, Georgia, and Liberty County. I commend the area for their ardent support of our troops and the Army at Fort Stewart, which has continuously engaged in the challenging missions in the defense of our nation around the globe. November 2007, the Army announced that Fort Stewart would receive another Brigade Combat Team using the findings of the 2005 Base Realignment and Closure Committee, along with Fort Bliss and Fort Carson. Since that time, the community, installation, and Congress have geared up and invested for that growth. Working with post leadership in the Pentagon, Congress appropriated funds for military construction projects such as barracks buildings and operation facilities at $154 million for FY 2008 and for $352 million for FY 09. Clearly, the Army has invested greatly to maintain Fort Stewart's tradition as an award-winning installation of excellence. At the urging of the Army staff and the military leadership on post, the Hinesville community stepped forward to be sure that the new troops would have adequate housing and public infrastructure. The Department of Defense also sent the Office of Economic Adjustment to assist the community to properly prepare for the arrival of the new Brigade Combat Team. Investments were made for new schools, roads, infrastructure. Banks made many loans to property developers who in turn purchased land and accelerated their efforts to provide homes and commercial properties to support the arrival of over 10,000 soldiers and family. However, the decision announced by the Army this June has brought all this economic activity to a halt. While some of this infrastructure will be used or absorbed in time, it is clear that without the arrival of the Brigade Combat Team, the city has overbuilt and overinvested. The economic hardship would not have occurred without the BRAC-based decision to bring additional troops and the Army's insistence that Hinesville get aggressively involved. The community supporting Fort Stewart still has much to offer for the Army. I stand here in support of the provisions within this bill that will help address the hardship incurred on the small rural communities that support Fort Stewart.
Mr. Chairman, I am pleased to respond to the gentleman from Georgia. He has a long record of support and advocacy for Fort Stewart and our nation's armed forces, and I am pleased to inform that gentleman that language has been included in this bill to direct the Secretary of Defense to carefully consider the economic impact of this policy change on local communities and to provide to Congress information about the Department's efforts to mitigate the negative effects. This includes a report on any new enduring missions planned for the bases affected, including a summary of the Department's plans to lessen the economic hardship or investment loss. I would be happy to work with the gentleman and the Secretary of Defense, of course, to consider how to address the negative impact of recent basing decisions on the local communities that so strongly support our troops.
I thank the gentleman for his kind words of support for the patriotic and hard-working people in the communities surrounding Fort Stewart, and I appreciate the chairman's support to work with me through this year's National Defense Authorization Act to ensure that the Army and the local communities can continue to have strong partnerships in the support of the troops, and I yield the balance of my time. Thank you again.
Thank you.